Hello to everyone watching and who continue to support programming here at LA City View 35. I'm Claudia Luna, Assistant General Manager of the Los Angeles Civil Rights Department. Today, we're bringing you Building a Los Angeles for Everyone, a celebration of another year of our award-winning anti-hate, anti-discrimination campaign, LA for All. I'm joined by some of my favorite people here in our civil rights family. Capri Maddox, our Executive Director, Commissioner on the Status of Women, Dora Kwok, Commissioner on Civil Rights, Huang Nguyen. Today, we're going to talk all things LA civil rights, our commissions, and how we plan on celebrating and building an LA for everyone. Our first question, our fearless leader, Capri Maddox, as Executive Director, can you tell us a little bit about the history of the department and how you've seen it grow these past few years?
Well, as the inaugural executive director, I am excited to see this department grow. But I really want to thank the workers that made this department happen. We were created by the Black Worker Center, folks at ADEPSCA, UCLA Labor Center, to create an opportunity for folks to find justice and equity in the city of Los Angeles, particularly as it relates to making sure that there are cases that can be brought against folks that violate your civil rights within the city of Los Angeles. As you know, if people violate your civil rights in the areas of commerce, education, employment, and housing, we can bring cases and remedies in these spaces. But we didn't stop there. And I want to thank our previous mayor and our current mayor, our fearless leader, my fearless leader, Mayor Karen Bass. We couldn't be more grateful to have someone that helps us to lift equity in the city of Los Angeles through, looking at things through the policy equity lens, resources that the mayor and city council make sure that we have to share with communities in areas like Skid Row, South LA, Boyle Heights, as well as Pacoima. We want to be intentional to right some of the wrongs from the past on the equity side. And we are also intentional to work with 5 amazing commissions. You lead some of those commissions. We have some of our commissioners here, but we are grateful that we have 41 commissioners to help us build a better Los Angeles. And we now have a team of 50 people to help us to lift this work. When you think about the part-time and full-time workers that make Los Angeles civil rights run, we couldn't be more grateful for this. And of course, I'm excited that the Los Angeles for All campaign, commonly known to our residents as LAS for Everyone campaign, is an award-winning campaign in over 5,000 ad spaces. It's currently on metro buses and trains right now. But we want the community to know that we believe that Los Angeles is for everyone, and we celebrate all cultures all the time, and that's who we are as Angelenos.
Thank you, Capri. That was a great summary. We're doing a lot, and we're here to get the word out, so thank you for putting it so eloquently. My next question is really for any panelist that wants to take this, and all of you if you want. Our department name is split up into 3 categories. There's civil rights, there's human rights, there's equity. What issues of concern in these areas do you see happening in the city, and how can we as commissioners, as department staff, help the city tackle and address these issues?
I'll take it, and thank you, Claudia, and thank you, Channel 35, for having us here. I'm honored to be appointed by the mayor to be on the Civil Rights Commission, but I'm going to uplift the other parts of the name, which is equity. And equity is so important. What Capri said about righting past wrongs is so important, because the wrongs in the past still have repercussions today. Our communities are still suffering through the systemic and historical racism that city governments in the past have imposed on our communities. And we need resources in those historically marginalized communities. And we're so proud of those initiatives, the participatory budgeting, the repair projects of these neighborhoods, and that's just the beginning. And we want the Reparations Task Force to succeed and put out recommendations. We want all of these things that, uplifts the communities who have never been heard. They have voices. We just never listen to them. And so I'm very, very excited about that work.
Thank you, Commissioner Nguyen. You got me excited even more about the work. That's a great answer. Going back to Capri for my next question. Capri, can you talk about some successes under your leadership that the department has had?
Yes, of course. I'd love to brag about the LA for All campaign. Just to know that a little scrappy city department was able to achieve an award that was the Los Angeles American Advertising Award. Is something that's so prestigious to think about. This is an award we won on the category with like Subaru of America, Grownish, The Voice. I mean, these are the players, and for a little city department, a new city department, to create a campaign that reached so many and had such an impact and really made a difference for so many communities in Los Angeles is something that I'm very, very proud of. I'm also extremely proud of the work with participatory budgeting. Mayor Bass and City Council really leaned in to make sure that we're able to right some of the wrongs that Commissioner Nguyen was speaking of. These communities suffer from systemic racism, and it doesn't happen overnight. It took many years for some of the wrongs to happen in these communities. And even if you look at the maps from the 1930s where there's redlining in Los Angeles, we still have problems in some of those same neighborhoods. When you think about Arleta Pacoima, Panorama City, thinking about areas like Skid Row, Westlake, the South LA, East LA communities, right? We need to be intentional to right some of these wrongs and to have $8.5 million to hit the streets to support community-based organizations based on input from the community really means a lot. And the variety of services that are provided as a result are, after school care, thinking about even street medicine. I mean, we have $1.1 million right now on the streets in Watts through Charles Drew University for street medicine. We have people learning about how to keep their housing through legal remedies because of these dollars. And so that's the part of the success, and building an amazing team of leaders and a bench of people that can do this work in the future. Mm-hmm. Because you all have been living in America, in Los Angeles with me, and we're gonna have to do this work for a long time. There's some people that may have come up in the 80s and 90s and thought, oh, well, I missed the civil rights movement. No, it's very much here, alive and well, and the harvest is ripe, and we need the workers. So we want to be intentional to create a pipeline, and we've done so many, great things in these spaces, and I could go on and on and on and brag about the department, but that'd take the whole show.
But I will go on and put a finer point on this. Is democracy in action, right? These projects are not decided by the city council or like the civil rights department. It's the community, everyday people who went in there and said, I want this for my neighborhood. And that is the beauty of the projects, and we hope it continues forever.
Thank you, Capri and Commissioner Nguyen. I think that's beautiful that the community said this is what we need, and the department's helping it grow and get started. I love it. I love every part of it. Commissioner Kwok, so we've been talking about how the department name, civil rights, human rights, equity. How can the commission and the department staff address issues of concern for the city moving forward?
Well, thank you, Claudia. I really do want to echo what Commissioner Nguyen was saying about this emphasis on equity. I think in Los Angeles, we often take for granted our rights, right, and our protections, but it really comes down to enforcement. And so that is something that this department really, this is the strength of this department, is the ability to outreach to the community, make sure that these policies and practices are well known and well understood, and then provide the support that's necessary to make sure that our community remains protected. Again, echoing what Commissioner Nguyen said, the civil and human rights pieces are beautiful, and then the enforcement and the promotion of equity is really key for this department.
Thank you, Commissioner Kwok. And I should have asked this question to one of you earlier. If I'm a resident of the city of LA and I feel like I've experienced discrimination in the private sector at my workplace or getting my nails done, how do I contact you? What do I do?
Well, your department has created such a beautiful website using LA is for everyone. All of our viewers can access the resources and find out additional information going to laforveryone.com.
Yep. Thank you, Commissioner Kwok. And so my next question is for Executive Director Capri. Earlier you mentioned 5 commissions. Can you name all 5 of them and just a little bit about what each of them does?
Right. Of course, the Commission on Civil Rights that deals with the discrimination enforcement, and so that those many of attorneys are actually on that commission, but we actually have the ability to bring cases against folks that violate your civil rights in the 4 areas of commerce, education, employment, housing. And I like that you gave examples too, because when you say commerce, people don't know what that means. You could be at a medical facility or getting your nails done, right, where your rights are violated. And so we want to be intentional to make sure that there are remedies, so that commission handles a lot of those cases. And I want to be intentional to tell you that the Human Relations Commission kind of like unites the city. They've been around quite some time, but we are happy that they are a part of our department. They build unity and healing and peace in the city of Los Angeles. And this commission also has the Transgender Advisory Council that is a part of that work. And we just love the fact that we are able to educate people about the transgender and non-binary communities. I think it's important for Angelenos that want to do the right thing but just don't understand things now, how to address having a transgender employee. We actually had a training just last week at LA Trade Tech to teach employers about how to be responsive and how to support their transgender employees. And it was a job fair. So a lot of people were connected to jobs just last week as part of our department. We also have the ability to have the Reparations Advisory Commission, and that commission informs us on how to deal with some of the wrongs as it relates to the African American population, whether it's how we as Angelenos dealt with slavery, as well as some of the harms that continue to happen, as we know, with inequities did not end in the African American community after slavery ended. And so there's some of the harms that have happened as it relates to inequities tied to housing, employment, policing, et cetera. And so that is a commission that is helping us in those spaces. And then, of course, my very last commission is your commission, the Commission on the Status of Women, where we look for gender equity. And I really want to let people know this is still an issue. We still have pay equity issues. There's violence against women that continues to happen even in Los Angeles, right? And so we need to be intentional to uplift those voices and to even bring more women into government. And Claudia, you do a fabulous job at leading most of those commissions. And so we really appreciate the work that you and Commissioner Quack do for the commissions that you manage. And Commissioner Nguyen, we couldn't thank you enough for your service. We can't do this alone with just 50 people, right? And we have 4 million people in the city of Los Angeles. So we need our commissioners to lift us as we lift a better Los Angeles.
Thank you, Capri. And picking up where she left off, I'll start with Commissioner Quack. Can you give us a deeper dive on what the commission is focusing on, doing, and overall, what are your plans for commission under the new mayoral Bass administration?
Yeah, the Commission on the Status of Women is one of our older commissions. It's been around for a long time, but we're so happy to find a new home under this newly formed department in the city of Los Angeles. Capri touched on a couple of points about gender equity, making sure that the women of Los Angeles are fully represented, in positions of power as well. And we are at this incredible moment in time. We have leadership of Capri as our department executive director. We have our mayor. We have our fire chief. We have 7 out of 15 city council members, as well as all 5 LA County supervisors who are all women identified. We are in this really powerful moment, and yet there's still so much work to be done. Right? And we really lean on this department to help us with the enforcement pieces, and that gives the commission a lot of breathing space as well to focus on the celebrations, because we are not just concerned about discrimination, we are also making sure that we have an opportunity to not just survive, but thrive. And that means celebrating every win and making sure that the women across all of Los Angeles are recognized for the work that they do and the role they play in making LA for all.
Thank you, Commissioner Quack. I'm really excited about it feels like a woman-led city. On top of all of that, our city attorney is also a woman. So, women get things done. I'm really excited about what the future lies for our city. Mm-hmm. And a deeper dive, the Commission on Civil Rights, Commissioner Nguyen, can you tell us about the Civil Rights Commission, maybe what you guys are working on and a little of what you plan to work on in the future?
So I'm going to repeat the website again, laisforeveryone.com, okay? Go to that website. All the different forms are all different languages. So if you need help with that, please let our department know. Report, 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 right? Why? Because as Capri said, we resolve cases. Most of the cases we've gotten have been resolved through just simply the Civil Rights Department investigator picking up the phone call and saying, hey, I heard you're doing this, why, right? And the problem disappears. But it's a larger issue right now that we have. It's an epidemic of hate and discrimination that is going on even in Los Angeles City. And it's very unfortunate, but we're living through a very pivotal moment for this kind of work. If we don't address it now, it gets worse and worse. I work for an organization called Stop API Hate, and we have received over 11,000 hate incidents reported through just regular people across 50 states, and 80% of those are not to the level of hate crimes. They are hate incidents, so people hurling racial epithets at you on the street, businesses discriminating against you. Well, if you call the police, they unfortunately can't really do anything about it. But in LA, I'm so proud that we have a mechanism now where people can call and get a response from our government to remedy the civil rights violations. And we want this to be a national model. I'm going to say it right now that this is such an exciting moment in our city and within the civil rights movement, this new civil rights movement. I also want to uplift what Capri said earlier about the Transgender Advisory Task Force. We're at a time, again, in this epidemic of hate where trans and non-binary and LGBTQ communities are being viciously attacked, and we're being used as political pawns, quite frankly, to further politicians' causes, right? They want to get votes and they want a scapegoat for this upcoming election. And in LA, we're so proud to embrace people as opposed to push them away and villainize them, right? And this department is leading in that work, and I'm so glad to be a part of it.
Yes. Commissioner, I just want to follow up and say no one in the world is doing what we are doing. I've been at international conferences. Some people do women's issue.
Right.
Some people do, the civil rights piece, or they may think of hate crime prevention work. We do it all. There is no wrong door to fighting hate and inequity. We even provide resources for the communities that have been wronged and harmed in so many ways. So we appreciate the role of being the defender, the protector, and the healer as it relates to civil rights in Los Angeles.
Thank you, Commissioner Nguyen. Thank you, Capri. And to pick up on what Commissioner Nguyen said about the department making sure people feel they belong, we are here to celebrate LA for All Week, which is September 25th to 30th. We're very excited about it. Capri, can you tell us a little bit about how the campaign got started? And then after that, I want everyone to say, what does this campaign mean to you? What does LA for All specifically mean to you in honor of this celebration?
Right. So when we started the department, we saw an uptick in AAPI hate. And of course, the hate crime numbers spiked in that community, and we're still dealing with some of the aftermath of 2020 and the rise of AAPI hate. But we saw it grow in so many other communities, and we needed to have a voice of Los Angeles standing up to say that Los Angeles is for everyone, and to also allow people to celebrate the beautiful mosaic of Los Angeles. And if you look at the colors of the LA for All campaign, if you look closely, you'll see every skin tone. It's multicolored. You can see not only flesh tones, but the beauty and the vibrancy of the city in that work. And of course, we can't thank the LA Public Library enough for translating it into 21 languages. It's even in sign language now. That was our latest piece that we just released. And we also know that in working with leaders like the former Commissioner Jessica Caloza in these spaces to help us to make sure that we had access to place this art on city property, like sanitation trucks, like street light poles. And we had the ability, of course, we're our partners with LA Metro to put it on trains and buses. And so everyone, this entire city, like leaned in. And before we knew it, we were in over 5,000 places, which actually helped us to become an award-winning campaign with the Los Angeles American Advertising Awards last year.
Thank you. This year, we're doing a full week of celebrating our campaign, LA for All Week. We're doing a lot of events, but I want to get into what does LA for All mean to you? What does the campaign mean to you? What do those words mean for you? We'll start with Commissioner Kwok.
Thanks, Claudia. You know, I want to echo what you were both saying earlier about this campaign. It's such a beautiful mosaic of colors, you know, the inclusion of 21 different languages on the posters. I know I have a poster in my home window. It's revealed a lot of city workers in my neighborhood, more so than I realized. But it really touches on a couple of key points when we talk about representation, right? The ability to see yourself in all of these colors, the ability to see yourself in all of these languages. You know, I want to uplift another word that we've been using today, which is intentionality, right? And this campaign was so intentional and thoughtful to make sure that we were hitting every corner of all of our communities, all of our people, and making sure that, you know, you feel that you're welcomed here. To your point, Commissioner Nguyen, you know, we're looking at a nationwide strategy of communities being targeted for political gain. But here in Los Angeles, we are really embracing everyone and meeting them where they are, right? By putting our campaign on places like the bus ads, in our libraries, in our community centers, and in our small businesses. You know, we're being supported by our mom and pop businesses because they feel seen. And I think we can never undervalue that piece of being seen, right?
Thank you, Commissioner. I couldn't agree more. Commissioner Nguyen, what does LA for All mean to you?
Well, it's not hard to see why this wins awards. And get used to it, everyone. It's going to be everywhere, all the time. To me, LA for All is a much needed reminder for all of us that we all belong here. At a time when there's so much wrong in the world, LA is the beacon of hope across the state, across the country, and across the world. We are a vision of inclusivity that not a lot of places, quite frankly, have. And we should take up that mantle and say proudly that this city welcomes everyone. And we do, but we need that reminder every now and again.
Yes, I agree. Beautifully said.
And Claudia, one thing I think we should talk about is the fact that anyone can make a difference and everyone should try. You know, we heard that from John F. Kennedy Jr., but I think we need to be intentional to know that community members are also uplifting the Los Angeles is for Everyone campaign. And our previous manager of the campaign, Mark Pampman, who's now a student at UCLA Law, made it so that the average citizen could call into our office or go online and request signs in any of our languages to be sent to their homes or businesses or schools or houses of worship free of charge. So if you want LA for All artwork, is known as LA is for Everyone, in any language, you can simply go to laisforeveryone.com/LA for All and order it, and we will send it to your house. And if I have the time, I even write a little note. So I want to encourage people to know this is not just a government program. This is a you program. It's for the community. It's by the community. And we can't thank Masaki, the artist, enough for giving us this gift of great art. And even our partners at Cal State LA, we have Cal State LA students that have started another art campaign in response to some of this work that is happening here with LA for All. So it's beautiful, it's accessible, and it makes a difference in the City of Angels.
Thank you, Capri. I know when I've been tabling at some events, people come and ask, how much is the bumper sticker? How much is the poster? And when we say no, it's free, you can take it. They're floored because it's such a beautiful poster and it's such a beautiful art, and they're very thankful and grateful for the items that we're able to give out. So please, folks, definitely, if you want one, request one. My last question, and it's for all of you, but I'll start with Commissioner Nguyen. Which LA for All Week event are you most excited about?
I'm really excited about the lighting ceremony, and it's not just going to be City Hall that's going to be lit up, but major buildings and major stadiums around the city are going to be lit up in these colors. And again, once again, you know, it's that one night the lighting is going to happen, but it just sends such a strong signal to the rest of our city that this city is for everyone, and we are inclusive, and we plan to be for the rest of time.
Thank you. I loved it when it was done last year. I drove around the city so proud, so I can't wait to do it again. And Commissioner Kwok, same question.
Well, you know, what I love about the LA for All Week is that we are choosing to celebrate World Peace Day by having all of our peace and healing centers open across the city. And it's such a beautiful thought to have these locations directly in communities that have experienced some of the most harm, that are seeing significant investment, right, in their people, in their community, in their well-being, and having these peace and healing centers open collaboratively across the city to serve the community. I can't think of a better way to celebrate LA for All.
I love that. I love that too.
And I'm excited about the city lighting up. I mean, we've shown the city the best of Los Angeles, and so now we want our lights to shine. And last year, like you, driving around seeing the 6th Street Bridge, the US Bank Tower, also thinking about Dodger Stadium lit up in our colors, that was amazing. But this year, we're looking to see the Union Station, as well, of course, our very own City Hall. Mayor Bass will be doing that. But all over the city, from Hollywood, the Hollywood Bowl, all the way down to you know, the port, the warehouse is going to be lit up in our colors. And I think it's really important to know that that is beautiful, and that represents the best of Los Angeles. Can't thank Myra Medell enough from our team for making sure that she did all the phone calls to get people to change their lights on their buildings and their structures. Even LAX is going to light up in our colors, and super grateful for that. But the thing that touches my heart is when the community works together. And Tom LaBonge Day is happening on September 30th. Tom LaBonge was a unifier, and sometimes we weren't all ready to be unified, but he'd bring you from here to there and cross council boundaries and bring people together, and that's who he was. And then, of course, one thing he did is he always made sure that he made friends and he cleaned up the city. He rolled around the city with a Crown Vic, with a bunch of tools in his back, brooms and shovels to clean up and make Los Angeles better. So in honor of his upcoming birth, it would have been his birthday on October the 6th of this year. And we wanted to be intentional to say, on Tom LaBonge Day, we are bringing people together and we are cleaning up the city. And last year, we actually had 5 locations from the Valley to Watts, where about 300 people showed up on a Saturday to clean up the streets in honor of someone who leaned in, who loved Los Angeles, and who truly wanted a Los Angeles for all.
Thank you, Capri. Thank you, commissioners. I'm excited about all of the events. Thank you so much for the conversation. I'm looking forward on working on addressing equity and justice with you. I really appreciate your time. We've got so much in store at the LA Civil Rights Department. Be sure to stay up to date on everything we're doing at laisforeveryone.com. There you can find additional information on how to participate and get involved. Thank you again to our panel, our Executive Director, Capri Maddox, our Vice Chair on the Commission on the Status of Women, Dora Kwok, our Commissioner on the Civil Rights, Huang Nguyen, and to all of you for helping us do the work we do at LA Civil Rights. Thank you for watching.